seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulative congested clouds that aren't really precipitating yet. And if it has inflow, maybe we could get something to work. Year one, we
Wow. Welcome in, everybody. Thursday night. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. It don't start buffering till I unmute the mic. Why is that? I'll tell you why, because they don't want people to hear what we have to say. What is this? It looks like the Anunnaki cloud. I don't know what the hell it is. We're going to get into it a little bit later here. We're going to jump into some news. Anyway, yeah, some weird stuff going on. You know, I did a video the other day when I was at work. It was a driving video. And I was doing a job for a guy, and he just come right out and told me he was a Freemason. He told me he either worked for DARPA or he was a subcontractor for DARPA mapping the caves of Missouri. And I had, you know, several comments in there saying, DARPA's not in the cave business. Well, here it is right here. DARPA seeks tools to capture underground worlds in 3D. This is back in March 7, 2019. And then they also did the Subterranean Challenge. You know, when people leave comments, they should really look a few things up before they run their mouths, because it's going on. And there's a reason why it's going on. There's a takeover going on. And I'm going to get in to show you the evidence of the takeover. Nanotechnology found in popular foods despite repeated denials by regulators. This is coming out Australia News right here. Oh, I don't want it to play. It's going to try to play. Let me see if I can stop it. All right, I think I got it stopped here. So, sauces and dressings have been found to contain nanotechnology that the National Food Regulator has long denied is widely being used in Australia's food supply. The Food Standards Australia and New Zealand have claimed there is little evidence of nanotechnology in food because no company had applied for approval. Therefore, it's not tested nor regulated. Well, looks like they've been finding it in the gravy, in all kinds of things. We know it's coming out of the back of the aircrafts. It's actually coming from a bunch of different things, but we're being clobbered with this stuff. Then you have to ask yourself, why are the bureaucrats buying guns and ammo? $158 million spent by non-military agencies. Officers at Homeland Security, 40,000 officers within the Department of Justice needing training equipment for their everyday duties. The law enforcement agency spent $138 million on new guns and ammunition. Traditionally, they spent about $20 million. The special agents of the Internal Revenue Service, about 2,300 of them, are allowed to carry AR-15s. P90 tactical rifles, other heavy weaponry. Why is the IRS armed up with 1.2 million in new ammunition sales? That was in addition to the 11 million in other guns and ammunition. Yeah, 40,000 new gas masks. The Department of Veteran Affairs, the SBA, the Department of Health and Human Services. Their agents are able to carry the sophisticated weapon platform used by special forces of the military. They just filled their locker up with all kinds of stuff. Loading the gun locker. I mean, they just been spending tons and tons of money. How about the U.S. Geological Survey? They just purchased a bunch of G27 Glock shotgun slugs, frangible ammo. Department of Interior, 4.4 million on guns and ammunition. The Fish and Wildlife, 308 rifles, Glock pistols, semi-automatic rifles, modify their Glocks with silencers. Why are they modifying with silencers? But yet they want to take our guns away, and all these people are arming up. The Department of Agriculture, 1.1 in guns and ammunition. The Bureau of Engraving and Printing spent $100,000 on described as firearms. $179,000 on ammunition. 40 caliber ammo, buckshot, Glock pistols, Remington firearms, handgun magazine clips. Oh, hope you guys are ready. There's a reason why they're loading up on this ammo. Let me get rid of this. It's because of things like this. Eat less meat. The UN climate change report calls for change to human diet. This is the agenda of the New World Order. This is why they are taking over the farmlands, taking over the land. This is the New World Order coming in, man. We're watching it before our eyes. Here's another article. The IPCC climate change report calls for urgent overhaul of food production and land management. What's the best way to do that? Burn you off your property, flood you off your property. They just take the land. They ruin the land, and then they take it, and then they can do whatever they want. You know, what's the best way to combat this so-called climate change? Plant trees, but what are they doing? They're cutting down the rainforest. They do the exact opposite of what they say. Here's another article. IPCC study on land and climate change must spur renewed political conviction to stop the climate breakdown. There is no climate breakdown, it's climate control. I show every night all the weather modification programs going on worldwide. All the technologies are good. We could prove in a court of law 100% that they are creating the fake climate change hoax, the global warming hoax. And guess what? They want you to pay for the rising seas. You know, the rising sea levels due to climate change has been thoroughly debunked by top scientists. But yet they still use the fear-mongering tactic to drive the massive spending to stop it, man. They're trying to take away the meat and the good food for you. I mean, this is all multifaceted. Eugenics program, depopulation. I mean, it's slapping us right in the face, man. We got to, the people that can't see this, man, it's just, it's maddening. What about this? Food shipment detained for Venezuela seized by the U.S. blockade. So these people are starving. 25,000 tons of soy-made products has been seized in the Panama Canal due to the U.S. blockade, while calling on the United Nations to take action against serious aggression that impede Venezuela's right to food. Why are they stopping? Why is the U.S. stopping the food? Armor up. A notice to the public servants. We'll know our disinformation campaign is complete when absolutely everything the American people believe is false. That was back in 1981 from the director of the CIA, William Casey. That's what we're seeing right now. The FEMA's blueprint for martial law in America. And this goes within the document that we reported on the other day. The Cheney-Bush administration has a plan which could accommodate the detention of large numbers of American citizens during times of emergency. Thanks out there, Super Dave. We're here. They're going to call it climate emergency. They're wiping out all the farms. They're taking all the land. They're forcing the farmers to do things that they normally wouldn't do. They want them to grow a certain way. And we're seeing it down in Australia. We're seeing it over in Europe. We're seeing it in India. We're seeing it in China. We're seeing it in America. The same story, the same plan going on. Then we got this coming out here. Hollywood film depicts Trump supporters being hunted for sport by liberals. Remember that movie that came out like that? Yeah, let them try. Let's get it on. Anyway, you know, nobody was born racist. So how did racism is created by the media? Nobody'd be racist if it wasn't for the media. It's manufactured. Here's another one. Movies reportedly pulled ads for a horror film where U.S. elites hunt the deplorables for sport after the shootings in El Paso. Why is Hollywood still able to put out movies? You know, instead of raising money for the farmers, they're wanting, you know, to start crap with all the patriots out there. Who's going to win that fight? A guy in drag or a military guy? Common sense. Scientists can now manipulate brains using smartphones. Mind control has never been so high-tech. Scientists have created a tiny smartphone-controlled brain implant capable of selectively manipulating brain cell circuits, uncovering neurological problems such as Parkinson, Alzheimer's, addiction, and depression. Team of engineers at the Korea Advanced Institute of Science and Technology in Washington published their research Monday. You know, what else can they use mind control for? Maybe mass shootings, psychotic people. Australia looks to access U.S. fuel reserves to shore up supplies. Australia holds just 28 days worth of fuel imports, well below the 90-day minimum required. So they're running out of fuel. You know, the military uses more fuel than like tons of other countries put together. Here's another war on beef. The Impossible Whoppers plant patties taste almost like real meat. And that's what's worrying cattle farmers. That's not what's worrying cattle farmers. The intentional flooding and takeover of their farms is what's worrying the farmers. We're not going to go along with this new world shit. I'm not going to eat plant-based food, petri dish meat, and I'm damn sure not going to eat human flesh like the articles from yesterday. Everybody needs to ban the mainstream news. Then there would be no racial division, no political division. Everybody needs to ban Walmart, ban all these stores, these mega stores out here, to where you're forced to buy only their fake Franken food and processed nanobots and all that stuff. Just stop watching TV, stop shopping. Only get the minimum. Get what you need. Stock up on real food before the real food is completely gone. Had a bad dust storm out here, and another one in Australia. 2 truckers have died on a head-on crash, and they burst into flames, man. Horrendous. So, yeah, they got inundated with a big old manufactured dust storm. All the storms are manufactured. Now we know what all that, these shipping operations and the chemtrails going around Greenland were for. Look at this system it created. You know, we had all, I mean, this is just a weird ass system right here. It was created. We documented it. They're calling it the bomb, or the BOM. What the heck is that? I guess it's bomb. Weather warning issued for dangerous winds and blizzards. Or actually, this is down in Australia. This is the other article. Okay, well, this is going on. So the southern Australia is getting winds and blizzards, while the northern Australia is in climate chaos, in the droughts. We know who runs the weather down here. And I need to get him on the show very soon. So where was the other article I had? So, you know, here's the same area. Well, this is probably up north, but Australia unprepared for more frequent heat waves. Health and emergencies say. You know, everything's such lies, man. It's so hard to decipher through all this. You got watermelon snow spotted at Yosemite National Park. It looks like the blood snow.
Yosemite National Park above 9,500.
So it looks like blood snow to me. It looks like the same thing that happened over in Europe when they got hit with the Sahara dust. Created the blood rain, the blood fog. And then you got this, a submarine goes under a falling glacier to gauge rising seas. Now, I've talked to tons of people that have docks and stuff, you know, down on the ocean. Marked them years ago. Not one of them has had any kind of sea life. I don't know what that is, Ralph. Here, I can try to open it. I mean, are you trying to send me something to open, or I'll try to get that open. But when I see a submarine going underneath a glacier, I'm thinking they're planting explosives or something. That's just my thoughts. What was this one here? Germany to close all 84 of its coal-fired power plants will rely primarily on renewable energy. And what does that mean? What's the renewable energy? This is not going to affect anything. until you get, you know, India and China and all the other places that are really pumping out the stuff. Oh yeah, here's the article I was looking for that goes with this. We watched them create this thing. So the deep cyclone, unseasonal summer windstorm for the UK and Ireland, August 8th, 9th. A large low is deepening over the Atlantic southwest of the British Isles and Ireland today, right where all the chemtrails were. You know, every one of these storms are engineered, like every one of them. If you see chemtrails, you know they're engineering a storm. If you see bunker fuel, you know they're engineering the storm. You know, if you go to any one of the like the electric rain making sites, and they all offer dust storm mitigation. But yet we keep getting inundated with the Sahara dust. It's all controlled. Every bit of this dust that keeps flying on over, it's man-made. All right, yeah, I'll check that out. Radical Ralph, I'll check that out here in a little bit. So guess what's still going on out here in the Pacific? We still have bunker fuel operations. These aren't fishing vessels. These guys are creating weather. This is the low level, you know, the low altitude toxic death fumes out here. These are not, you know, cargo ships. In fact, let me show you where they are here. Let's take this off just so I can. Here's the Gulf of Alaska. Here's California, Washington, Oregon. So straight off the Oregon coast. That's where this mass bunker fuel operation is. Let's go ahead and bring up the Earth though. And I'm going to show you the shipping lanes. All right, these long straight lines, they go from like Hawaii to California. They go up, you know, over to Kamchatka, over to China. These are the regular shipping lanes. You know, straight lines, straight across. You see them all over the place. You got them kind of in lighter amounts going from South America up to Europe and all them places. These are also bunker fuel. These are, you know, this is so much sulfur coming out of the ships that they're leaving a trail. And this trail has been proven that lightning and storms can follow these ship tracks. Makes it more storms electrified from all the heavy metals in there. So if that is the shipping lanes, and these damn sure are not fishing vessels, these are huge ships deploying weather altering particulates, the most toxic emissions on the planet. There's supposed to be regulations on all this stuff. But are they regulating it? No, it's battling the fake climate change. This is how they control the thermostat of the earth. They're melting the north. I mean, you just still have tons of aerosols being deployed up here via ships, via the planes, the drones. You know, you see stuff like this, like, what the hell is this thing? That looks like a baby Anunnaki or something, man. That is weird looking. That's just signs of the times. You You know, we got man-made storms going on all across the Midwest. Everything is a rain bomb. Heavy aerosols being deployed over Florida, over off the East Coast. Alabama's getting hammered. Definitely demon clouds. Thanks out there, Babu. Let's go ahead and take a look while we're here at the Earth Null. Let's go ahead and get back to the wind patterns. They're affecting the wind patterns. Now right here we're looking at the southern polar vortex winds. These are the winds up in the troposphere, up in the stratosphere. And we look, and there's just a weird wind anomaly right, you know, from the equator up northward. And right where these winds stop is where most of the bunker fuel is being deployed. And what's going to be crazy, this thing is going to start moving up, and it's going to get back up here into the northern hemisphere. And that's when we're going to have to start watching out. Remember the polar vortex? For this year, supposedly being the, you know, the hottest year on the planet, or whatever their cockamamie story they're telling. I think everybody remembers the polar vortex from this winter. How the cold wasn't normal cold. It was like, you know, way colder than normal cold. So, yeah, how about Texas? Texas had the coldest July on record. You've had, you know, Austria had 7 feet of snow in one snowstorm. You got snow going on right now in Australia, but yet it's supposed to be the hottest ever. And it's not. It's not even close. And I keep hearing these mainstream media, meteorologists, sock puppets, talking about the El Nino and the La Nina. And there is no El Nino. Not one. There hasn't been. Let's look at the sea surface temperatures. The ocean is cooling. There is no El Nino. Let's go to check the anomalies. You know where the ocean's cooling. The lighter blues is the colder colors. You know where the El Nino, if it was the El Nino, this whole part right here would be like it is up here, where they're purposely heating the Pacific Ocean. And I can go back and show you 2016 January. That was the last El Nino. I'll show you what it looks like. Here's what an El Nino looks like. You know, big heat anomaly right over the equator. That's what an El Nino looks like. There was no heating going on up in the Arctic. Now let's put it back on now. How do they get an El Nino out of cooling water? So, yeah, all lies. It's even cool over here. So it's just complete lies, man. And they keep saying, well, the hurricane season isn't all cracked up the way it should be, but it's going to be picking up. Is it going to be picking up? I don't think so. Not until they quit pushing this dust over. Let me get it over to the dust. So we keep getting inundated with the Sahara dust. This is getting everybody a lung infection, chest infection. Doctors are, you know, giving you crap that don't work. And we just keep getting hit wave after wave of this Sahara dust. You know, if you go to some of the other rain-making programs, the ones over here in the Arab Emirates and Iran and all them, they're going to turn the deserts green again. I mean, that's what they're going to do. There's like a flip, you know, a flip in power. So I'm trying to get this back on now. So until the winds get back to normal up here in the high levels, up here in the stratosphere, like this is just a huge wind pattern that's normally not this intense. In fact, let's go back to that El Nino year, see what it looked like. Look, this is what it looked like. Looks normal. You know, you might have a little high spot of wind here and there during the summer, but what it don't look like is what it looks like now. So definitely they're manipulating the polar vortex winds, the wind patterns way up in the troposphere, stratosphere. If we take a look at the jet stream winds, they've been completely bypassing the United States. We're starting to get our, what I call the gear drives back out here. And if we watch where all the bunker fuel operations are, this is where they're splitting off the little low pressure systems and steering the storms, steering the jet stream. You notice lately, you know, ever since the jet stream's been bypassing the United States, all the storms are running backwards. They're coming down and then turning back to the west. Everything is running backwards. You can see down here at the vortex, the scalar level, all the winds are still bypassing. They're going up and over. You got just a few little bit of winds right there. That's because they're splitting it. This is where the other bunker fuel operation is. We got several typhoons going right now. Let's check the waves. 46-foot waves, 49-foot waves, getting ready to blast China. And then you got a secondary typhoon, 45-foot waves. You think these are natural? Hell no, they're not natural. This is the other fabricated storm that's getting ready to hit. You're looking at 23-foot waves coming in, man-made storm. You know, I was wondering what all the aerosols being deployed around Greenland and Iceland was. Well, there it is. That's what they created. They created the storm. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead and look at the carbon monoxide concentrations. They've been high all summer long down here in Southern California. You got the fires going on. I don't know what that is. Could be a fire. East Coast is always high. Over here, Rush is just off the chart. Here we are looking at the carbon dioxide. Pretty high levels down there in Southern California again, where the fires are, of course. And then here we showed you this on the ship tracks. Let's go ahead and look at the particulate matter, the carcinogens of the sky. And we can see up here where all the fires are, man. It looks just like the Sahara Desert. Look at all the crap into these typhoons. Just loaded up with this particulate matter. Let's check the PM 2.5s. You know, when you get the air quality alert on your phones, that's this stuff. It's really bad for you. We get down to the PM1s. These are the deadly particulates. All of them are, but these are the most deadly. We can see down there in southern Texas, really bad. Up around where the fires are, where the fire smoke is. Right there. Was that Chicago, or what is that, Ohio? Where are we looking at? What's that right there? Lake Michigan, that city right there. bad. We got a pretty, looks like a bad spot there in that Alabama, maybe. All right, let's go ahead and jump out of that. Let's bring up the couple little weather things. So we still have Typhoon Crosa, Typhoon Lakima. Probably gonna just jump on over to the Go 17. Yeah, it's pretty crazy that people, normal people that aren't awake, how can they watch normal TV and not see this stuff? Like, I try to think back before I was awake how I was so blinded by this stuff. And it's actually hard to do. Like, I can't remember. I think I was programmed or brainwashed from the mainstream. And now when I see stuff like that, I can't even figure out how did I not see it before. Yeah, you know, it was all TV programming before the cell phones. They've been programming us through radio, through TV, and then they got the technology. They got the cell phones. They got the games. They got everything. But now trying to get they've brainwashed the younger generation so bad that they don't even know what gender they are. You know, they're confusing the kids. And that's why we have to fight now, because they're all brainwashed. They're all mind controlled already. It's too late. It looks like a pretty good little tropical system down there in the Bajas. Just gotta wait on this to load a little bit. But yeah, man, something's definitely going down. And now we're, you know, with the land grabs, the engineered floods, the engineered weather, and now we see the articles coming out how you got to get away from meat products. You got to start eating the frankenfood, the fake meat. Now we know what the land grabs were for. They did it on purpose. They're going to take away our choice. They don't want freedom. They don't want you to have freedom. They don't want you to have choice. And they damn sure don't want you to have guns. So this is like the last stand right now. The Second Amendment was to have guns to fight a corrupt government and to protect yourself. But that's the main purpose of the Second Amendment, is in case you had to fight a tyrannical government like the New World Order. It can't be took away. We're getting some weird spikes in this. Excuse me there, guys. I am starting to feel a little bit better. Almost getting rid of this cough. Yeah, 63 genders. My ass. There's 2 genders. And that's the way it's going to be in my book. If they don't like it, tough shit. I'll never change. They want to call that hate speech. That's ridiculous. Man, we're getting some weird stuff going on here on this map. Let me pause that. Yeah, right there. Look at them. What do we got shooting through here? Wow. Do we got some laser beams going off from the next threads? What is this? They're going different angles, different areas. You know, it could be a stitching error, but I don't know. Let me check the next threads out here. That's what we go by. We go by common sense, man. There is no common sense in the political world. There's no common sense in the left or the right. And that's, you know, we have to go by common sense or we're all doomed. If you get people to stop watching TV, though, that's the main cause of the racial stuff. You're not born racist. You're programmed to be racist. It's manufactured. They have to divide us. That's the plan. They have to divide us. If we come together, they're screwed. And that's why they always keep us divided. That's why the mainstream media needs to be blocked. It needs to be shut down. Needs to be off. Needs to be unplugged. How do you do that? Stop paying for TV service. Turn the TVs off. Make them go bankrupt. That's the only way. You got to take control from the controllers. You take away their money. You take away their lifestyles. Big flash going on here with the next rads. Just say no to McDonald's. Just say no to Taco Bell. Just say no to Walmart. Boycott everything. Quit working. Let's go on a nationwide strike. If we don't manufacture their franken foods, you know, what are they going to do? They're going to have to come to our terms. Anyway, guys, we're going to call this a show. I want to thank everybody out there that shares this information, gets the word out, helps us out. We're going to have to step it up. We have to battle the mainstream. I mean, that's what we're doing. We're battling the mainstream. You know, doing our best. Luckily, we're not journalists, you know. We don't go through their programming shows. We're not going to be actors out here. We're just going to tell it like it is. And I lost my, I lost you guys here. Let me see. I lost the chat. What happened? Okay, give me a second. Let me find you guys. Somehow it closed down on me. And I'm sure this video will be blocked. Because it's the truth, man. There's a war on the truth. I'm trying to get back to you guys without it blasting through here. Alright, I think I got it. But yeah, man, we'll keep on fighting as long as we can. You know, they keep trying to take us out, keep targeting us. But we keep coming back for more. Alright, guys, we're going to play a song called Rise. And then we're going to play a couple other songs. We're going to play the Rise song, then we're going to play the Fight song, then we'll play the Victory song. Hopefully we have the victory. We know who's on our side. Anyway, guys, much love. Here we go. Crank it up.
Hello, my name's Al DeChico. I live in Golden Valley, and I understand that this is a federal issue. I understand that from speaking to the governor's office, that they cannot or will not even make a statement about this. My question is, have you tested the rainwater? And if you haven't, have you seen the results of our rainwater tests? And also, are you aware that many of the people sitting in this room right here have very high levels of barium, aluminum, and strontium in their blood? People are getting sick and dying. And we want the ADEQ not just to give us a little speech today, but actually to maybe perhaps speak out against it if you know it's going on. And if not, I would suggest you do a lot more investigation. We've been doing it for years. So I'd like a comment on, one, the rainwater, what's in it, and two, what's in our blood. And if it's not coming from geoengineering, is it your responsibility to investigate that and tell us where it is coming from? Thank you. Does the ADEQ have the ability to take a position on this and investigate it further?
Bring your own phone. Well, your own real phone when you switch to Google Fi, a phone plan by Google.
seeing responses in some of those. So we are learning that maybe there's more opportunity with some of these. Maybe we don't even need to have a rain cloud. We could go work cumulative congested clouds that aren't really precipitating yet. And if it has inflow, maybe we could get something to work. Year one, we
Wow. Welcome in, everybody. Thursday night. Welcome back to Above Ground World News. It don't start buffering till I unmute the mic. Why is that? I'll tell you why, because they don't want people to hear what we have to say. What is this? It looks like the Anunnaki cloud. I don't know what the hell it is. We're going to get into it a little bit later here. We're going to jump into some news. Anyway, yeah, some weird stuff going on. You know, I did a video the other day when I was at work. It was a driving video. And I was doing a job for a guy, and he just come right out and told